The gavel comes crashing down, reverberating through the charged courtroom. All eyes are on Kody Brown, his face set in anger, his jaw clenched as though he is restraining an outburst. Across from him, Meri Brown sits rigidly, hands clasped in her lap, but her eyes smoldering with a blend of resentment and vindication. The judge's words cut through the silence. This divorce is no ordinary matter. Evidence indicates it is connected directly to a $38 million fraud scandal. Gasps run through the gallery, and in the moment everything is different. The cameras of sister wives never recorded this side of the story, the one where legal wars tear families asunder, and secrets long buried come to light. And here's the question I want you to consider. What's the result when love, trust, and faith fall apart because of money and deception? Stick with me, because the turns you're about to hear are going to blow your mind. Now tell me in the comments, do you believe Kody's wives ever had a clue this was going on? Or were they as blindsided as the rest of us? The courtroom buzzes with murmurs as the judge demands silence. The bailiff fidgets uncomfortably, looking out at the crowded benches where reporters take feverish notes in their notebooks. This is no longer a divorce proceeding. It's the collapse of a reality TV empire. Kody leans forward, clutching the defense table, his voice breaking in protest. This is a family issue, Your Honor. Nothing more. These charges are outrageous. His lawyer puts a hand on his shoulder, cautioning restraint. But restraint has never been Kody's forte. On the other side of the room, Christine Brown lets out a harsh breath, arms crossed. She's free of him now, but she's here. Her presence evidence enough. She demands the truth revealed, even if it hurts. At her side, Janelle shakes her head, lips clamped shut, as though reliving every deceived promise, every secret bank account she never knew existed. The moment is more of a test of character, and less of a divorce, an accounting for decades of decisions. The Jude adjusts his glasses, and lifts a stack of papers. We have reason to believe that certain assets tied to this marriage were concealed, funneled through shell businesses, and possibly linked to fraudulent investments totaling $38 million. His tone is steady, but the weight of the words makes the air thick and suffocating. Meri squirms uncomfortably, her mind flashing back to 2014, when Kody asked her to legally divorce him so he could marry Robyn. She had rationalized it was for the children, Robyn's children, to be adopted. But now she can't help but question, was she merely the first pawn in a much larger game? Her eyes moisten, but she will not cry before him. Not today. Christine leans in closer to Janelle and says quietly, I told you, this wasn't ever about us leaving. It's about the money. And now the audience is left wondering, was Kody's family ever about love, or always about creating an empire on their backs? Kody thumps his fist down on the table, and a stern rebuke comes from the judge. His attorney stands, smoothing her jacket, attempting to wrestle back control. Your Honor, these charges are speculative at best. Mr. Brown's business arrangements, perhaps convoluted, but legitimate. The prosecution is trying to transform a private marital problem into a criminal circus. But the prosecution is not giving up. A tall figure in a sharp gray suit stands, gripping a thick binder of documents. With respect, Your Honor, this isn't conjecture. We have documentation of money exchanges between Kody Brown's joint accounts with Robyn Brown and corporations incorporated in Nevada, Arizona, and even foreign accounts. These transfers are equal to missing joint marital funds. The room fills with whispers once more. Robyn covers her face with her hands, mascara running. She mouths, this wasn't supposed to happen. They weren't supposed to know. This is the initial fissure in the illusion, the point at which secrets begin to seep into the light, and the family knows there is no going back. Flashback sequences intervene in the wives' minds as the trial resumes. Janelle recalls late nights when Kody had her sign routine paperwork on land investments that she didn't comprehend. Christine remembers being pressured into giving up part of her savings for the family good, only to never know where it had gone. Meri reflects on the numerous times she felt pushed to the side, instructed to trust him blindly. In the gallery, fans once mesmerized by their family cohesion are now observing the shattering of what they believed was real. It's no longer entertainment. It's betrayal on a national stage. The judge clears his throat once more. We will consider testimony and evidence to decide whether or not this divorce settlement will include restitution based on fraudulent financial conduct. Until that time, the court is recessed. The gavel comes down once again, but the reverberations reverberate far outside the courthouse walls. And here's the terrifying reality. This is just the start. The deceptions cut deeper, the unions more tenuous, and the betrayals keener than anyone could have envisioned. As the meeting comes to a close, Meri slowly stands up, her shaking legs but more stable spirit than they've held in years. She meets Kody's gaze straight on. You founded everything on control, Kody. But now it's all coming down, and you can't control the truth. Christine puts a hand on Janelle's arm. This isn't his trial alone, it's ours as well. And I'm not going anywhere until all the lies are revealed. Kody, his face red with anger, does not even look at them. For the first time ever, maybe he seems smaller, trapped. His empire founded on wives, kids, and TV deals is beginning to crumble under the light of the law. And as the camera fades on the first day of court, one thing is true. This is not a divorce. It's the disintegration of all Kody Brown has ever said he believed. But what if tomorrow's testimony is a betrayal even more profound than deceit? One that will threaten to turn wife against wife in a war of courtrooms. The second day of trial dawns with storm clouds brewing over Flagstaff, and inside the courthouse the atmosphere is almost as thick. The bailiff raps for order, and again all eyes turn to Kody Brown. His formerly sure gait is slower now, burdened by the certainty that today's witness testimony could clear his name, or finish off what's left of it. The judge inclines forward, his voice crisper now. Today we will hear from those who were allegedly misled. Their voices will reveal whether this was merely a failing marriage, or the unraveling of a multi-million-dollar fraud. The silence that follows is thick enough to choke on. And here's the hook I hope you feel just now, sitting in a courtroom, where your whole life, family, and wealth are taken apart bit by bit. What if those closest to you, your intimates, your friends were the ones laying bare your secrets to the public? Meri is asked to the stand first. She walks slowly, her shoulders set but her face white. The clerk administers the oath, and she sits, glancing quickly at Kody. He will not meet her eyes. Not now. Meri, the prosecutor, starts softly. Can you tell me how money decisions were made in your marriage to Mr. Brown? Her voice shakes initially, but becomes more confident with every sentence. Kody was in charge of everything. Every big buy, every investment, every business venture. We trusted him. I trusted him. He always claimed it was for the future of the family. But then I began to notice I was signing documents I didn't read. Documents that weren't in my name or my children's names. Kody squirms in his seat, grumbling under his breath. The judge quiets him with a stern look. The courtroom leans in, hanging on Meri's words. Because everyone feels this isn't testimony, it's a confession of decades of betrayal. The prosecutor spreads out copies of documents, joint accounts, business names linked to Meri's signature. Did you knowingly authorize these funds to be transferred? Meri shakes her head. No. I thought I was signing off on family real estate buys. I didn't know about secret offshore accounts. I didn't know money was being transferred. I didn't know he was planning something else. Gasp waves through the room. The judge writes notes wildly. Kody's attorney stands in protest, charging this is conjecture, but the facts are clear for all to see. And here's the second hook. If Meri didn't know, then who did? Was Robyn the sole keeper of the truth? Or has Kody been manipulating them all against each other since day one? Robyn fidgets in her chair, eyes glassy, mascara smudged. She mutters urgently to her attorney, but can't keep the panic out of her voice. Christine and Janelle exchange a glance from the gallery, both women silently acknowledging what they've long suspected. The favoritism, the secrecy, the overnight wealth that only Robyn appeared to enjoy. The prosecutor does not relent. Meri, did you know that Mr. Brown lawfully divorced you in 2014, not merely to marry Robyn, but to transfer power over finances as well? Her tears come, but she regains composure. I believed it was for love, for taking in Robyn's children. I thought he meant it, but now, I realize it was a lie. A means of shutting me out legally but keeping me emotionally attached. The crowd stirs. It is not merely a marital betrayal. It is a calculating maneuver worth millions. This is the third hook. When love is strategy and marriage is currency, is it even a family anymore, or merely a business with shattered hearts on the side? Kody explodes at last, slamming his hand on the defense table. This is appalling. Meri, You're distorting everything. You consented to this. You wanted this. His voice rings out through the room, aching and anguished. The judge bangs the gavel for silence. Meri doesn't blink. She locks gazes with him for the first time in years, with an unflinching, searing look. I wanted a family, Kody, not fraud. The ensuing silence is more deafening than his tantrum. Not even Robyn comes to his defense now. And at this point, the viewers know this trial isn't about secret funds. It's about laying bare the cracks that divided this family before the cameras ever stopped rolling. The prosecutor summons the next witness, Janelle Brown. She steps up to the stand, her face tired but resolute. She testifies regarding loans she co-signed for, promises of Coyote Pass land development, and how each scheme appeared to favor Kody and Robyn at the expense of the rest. She recalls the night Kody told her, "Trust me, Janelle. We're building a legacy." Her lips tremble as she admits that legacy was built on lies. Christine wipes away a tear from the gallery. She knows her turn will come. She knows the stories she's buried in silence will soon be unleashed. The judge settles back, observing the destruction of not only a marriage but a lifestyle. His gavel lies idle on the bench, but his gaze tells a different story, an acknowledgement that this trial has the potential to create a precedent, not only for one family, but for all reality stars who ever cross the boundary between reality and entertainment. And here's the fourth hook to keep you leaning in. If the fraud is established, we're not just referring to divorce settlements, we're referring to prison sentences, restitution, and the fall of an empire once held together by faith, love, and cameras. At the close of the day's session, whispers fill the gallery. Across from the courthouse, lights flash, reporters scream questions, and fans hold up signs, some in Kody's defense, others in judgment. The country is riveted, not only as fans of sister wives, but as spectators to the fall of a man who founded his existence on invincibility. Inside, Kody leans back in his chair, shaking in his hands. For the first time, he doesn't seem as much a patriarch and more like a cornered man, devoid of alibis. Robyn leans in close, whispering in desperation, but he pushes her away. He knows tomorrow is going to be tougher. Tomorrow Christine will testify on the stand. And Christine has lost everything to lose. When Christine takes the stand, the darkest secrets will be revealed, and the $38 million fraud scheme might well blow wide open at last. The gavel comes down once more, but this time the entire courtroom lurches. The judge bends forward, her voice more pointed, more measured. We are no longer talking about divorce. Now we are in the area of fraud. Those words strike with the power of a thunderclap. Gasps emanate from the benches as the cameras zoom into Kody's tense face. His jaw tightens, his knuckles go white against the table. And in that instant, the whole Brown family drama takes a new turn for the dark side. Picture being in that room, anticipating divorce soap opera, and suddenly hearing the term fraud used in conjunction with a $38 million scandal. The audience knows immediately, this is now beyond lost promises. It's about lost trust in the law, and the stakes just went through the roof. The wives look at each other, wide-eyed, as if to silently ask, what have we done? Meri gnaws on her lower lip. Christine folds her arms in defensive rebelliousness. Janelle's face blanches, and Robyn, holding a tissue, moves uncomfortably in towards Kody. The prosecutor doesn't hesitate. She stands up, documents in hand, voice even but with a slice. Your Honor, we have grounds to believe financial impropriety within this family connects to the $38 million fraud scheme we're investigating. The divorce petitions uncovered concealed accounts, and evidence indicates funds were siphoned through Brown family business. Silence descends. Even cameramen suspend their breathing. What if the family America had been watching for more than a decade wasn't disintegrating emotionally, but financially? What if the soap opera on television was merely the tip of the iceberg, covering up something much more sinister underneath? The words hang suspended like smoke. Kody shifts in his seat, his usual confident bravado cracking. He finally blurts out, "This is ridiculous. My family is not involved in any fraud." His voice echoes, bouncing off the courtroom walls, but instead of reassuring anyone, it sounds like desperation. The judge raises an eyebrow. "Mr. Brown, you'll have your chance. For now, the evidence speaks louder than your protest." Christine, never one to be coy or afraid, inclines her head a bit forward, near whispering, but loudly enough for a microphone to pick her up. Perhaps now the truth is finally revealed. Her tone is thick with a combination of triumph and bitterness, as if she had suspected something like that all along. Robyn spins about hastily, her eyes blazing at her. Stop that, Christine. You don't know what you're saying. Tears well up in her eyes, but fear, loyalty, or guilt, no one can quite discern. And that's the irony of this moment. Every last look, every jump of an eye, every spoken word, could be concealing the clue to the $38 million secret. The prosecutor starts laying out documents, bank transfers, investment accounts, checks signed in company names, tracing back to the Browns. Every page that appears on the projector screen seems like another nail in the coffin. Meri shudders as one of the records mentions her name. She shakes her head wildly. No, I didn't know anything about this, Kody said. These were safe investments for the family. The audience gasped. The wives look at her, shocked. Meri just exposed a piece of the puzzle that points straight back to Kody. What happens when loyalty collides with survival? When standing by your husband could mean dragging yourself into a federal fraud scandal? The wives now face a choice no reality TV script could ever prepare them for. Kody slams his hand down, his face red. Meri, stop twisting things. You're making it sound like I. But before he can finish, the judge cuts him off. Mr. Brown, one more outburst, and you'll be held in contempt. The tension is excruciating. The wives whisper among themselves, Christine gazing at Janelle, with that quiet comprehension they've had for years. There is a storm brewing, and not only in the courtroom, but in the very fabric of this family. Then the prosecutor releases the bombshell. Your Honor, we have a witness who will testify that Mr. Brown and his business partners knowingly leveraged their family's reality show celebrity to lure investors into the scheme. That witness is in this courtroom. The room comes to a stop. Everyone glances around, looking, expecting. Even the ambient noise of papers shuffling and pens clicking ceases. Kody's head whips around, fear racing across his eyes. He breathes quietly to Robyn. Who is it? Who would do this to us? Robyn's tears now spill over her trembling hands. The bailiff pushes open the side door, and footsteps resound like a drumbeat. Slow, steady, each step a ticking off. The wives gasp. The audience leans forward, and then the figure materializes. Someone the family recognizes. Someone who has been quiet until this moment. What if the one who finally takes down Kody isn't an outsider, but one of his own? The camera zooms in as the witness enters the frame. Christine gasps, covering her mouth. Janelle says, "Oh my God." Robyn shakes her head forcibly, whispering, "No." Kody simply gapes, eyes wide, as if the earth under his feet has suddenly disappeared. The witness steps up to the stand, and the judge invites her to give her name. Silence. The courtroom audience, and the one at home, hides behind fingers, waiting to hear the words that might change everything. At last, the name is uttered. And at that instant, the entire scandal moves from hearsay to fact. This is no longer a divorce case. This is the trial of Kody Brown's life. If you thought things were intense in the courtroom before, wait till you see what's coming next. The witness who is going to testify will blow everything you ever knew about this family apart. The witness's throat clears, and the whole room holds its breath. This isn't just another testimony. This is the one that will either kill Kody Brown or give him his final opportunity to scrape his way out. The judge raises an eyebrow. The prosecutor leans forward expectantly. And Kody, he looks like a man backed into a corner, his back against the invisible wall. This is the type of moment that you won't ever forget, when a face you know walks into the limelight and makes an entire family's secrets become evidence. And in just moments, all the world believed it knew about sister wives will be stripped apart. The witness testifies, "My name is Logan Brown." The room gasps. It's Kody's oldest son. His arrival is a dagger to the heart, not merely for Kody, but for each wife who ever thought family obligation could never be shattered. Christine is holding Janelle's hand, staring wide-eyed in shock. Robyn mutters in anger to Kody, "How could this happen? How could your own son?" But Kody can't even shape words. His lips work, and no sound emerges. Logan's voice is firm, although his hands shake a bit. "I am here today because I cannot bear it any longer. The deceit, the manipulation, the money meant to sustain our family, but which went into speculative ventures. My father was aware. He said it was an investment for our future, but it was a fraud. What does one do when their own blood betrays them in the courtroom? When the child that was raised becomes the instrument of their destruction. The prosecutor nods, allowing the words of Logan to hang in midair before saying, "Mr. Brown, are you asserting your father, new family money went into fraudulent means?" Logan swallows hard. Yes, he used our trust, our love, to mask what he was doing. He even told us not to question the numbers. The wives are devastated. Janelle looks down, tears welling up in her eyes. Christine curses under her breath. I knew it. I knew it all along. Meri shakes her head in shock, her face pale as if she might pass out. Kody finally erupts. You're lying, Logan. How could you betray me like this, after all I've done for you? His rage and pain crack in his voice, the combination sounding almost feral. The judge thumps her gavel. Order in the court. But the harm has already been inflicted. Cameras burst, shining into Kody's flushed face, his crazed eyes, his son looking back at him with equal measure of sorrow and resolve. Can you picture it? Seeing a father and son ripping one another apart, not in the sanctity of their own home, but before the harsh glare of a spotlight in the courtroom. This isn't family soap opera. This is betrayal materialized into legal evidence. The prosecutor goes on with caution. Mr. Brown, did your father get any of the wives involved in these deals? Logan pauses, then stares hard at Meri. He used their names, sometimes without them knowing. Meri gasps out loud, grasping at her chest. No, please. No. Christine jabs forward in shock. You're telling me, Kody, that you pulled us into your crisis without even offering us an option? Robyn grasps Kody's arm, her voice cracking. Say something, Kody. Speak up for yourself. But Kody remains quiet, his face a tempest of rage and humiliation. This is where the fractures within the Brown family burst into canyons, and once uttered in court, there's no unsaying the words. The defense attorney rushes to rein in the story. Your Honor, this is merely a scorned son striking back at his dad. We have no real evidence of intent here. But Logan doesn't blink. He gazes straight at the judge. I didn't come here to hurt my daddy. I came here because the truth is more important than the lies we've lived in. Those are more painful words than any charge. Christine dabs away a tear, saying softly, that boy has more grit than his daddy ever had. The judge adjourns for recess, but the tension doesn't dissipate. It hangs in the air like electricity. In the hallway, there is a crush of reporters, yelling out questions. Did Kody Brown steal $38 million? Were the wives in on it? Is this the end of sister wives as we know it? Back inside, Robyn hangs on to Kody like a lifeline. We can battle this. We must battle this. But her voice trembles. She doesn't sound very convincing. Christine, though, straightens her shoulders, her voice ringing clear and crisp. Perhaps it is time the world gets a look at who Kody Brown actually is. Suppose the man you loved, the father of your children, wasn't merely a terrible husband, but the figurehead of a multimillion-dollar scam. And suppose the world was ready to know the truth at last. Kody's eyes pinch, his jaw clenched like stone. He snarls at Christine, then Logan, then the judge. You think you've won? You think you can destroy me with lies? I created this family. I created this empire. And I will not let it end here. But the audience knows, this isn't the voice of a man in control. This is the voice of a man drowning, clawing desperately at whatever's left. The judge calls everyone back to order. We will continue with testimony after the break. But let me make this clear. The allegations are severe, the evidence substantial, and the stakes immense. Each individual in that room knows it. This is not about love any longer. It isn't even about divorce. It's about living. Kody reclines in his chair, his eyes black, his face obscured. The camera tightens in, capturing each wrinkle of tension, every flutter of fear. He knows his existence as he had known it is gone. If you believe Kody's worst moment is already in the past, get ready, because what follows will have all that came before it feel like a warm-up. The courtroom is quiet, but it's not the quiet of peace, it's the quiet before the storm. Everybody knows what's at play now. Kody Brown is no longer simply a father, husband, or reality television personality. He is a man who stands on the precipice of destruction, charged with betrayal, fraud, and deceit that will take everything away from him. The wives sit in a tenuous row, divided yet united by the seriousness of what's happening. A once celebrated family on national television, now tore apart in the harsh glare of a courtroom. All secrets, all hushed words, all secret bank accounts are about to come out, and those next words uttered could determine if Kody is released free or spends the remainder of his life forever known as a fraud. The judge leans forward, her tone stern. We will now begin closing arguments. The prosecutor stands up, her voice cold and unyielding. This case is about deception. A man who professed love and security, but in the privacy of his own home bullied those closest to him, his wives, his children, into signing documents, transferring funds, and secreting money. $38 million didn't disappear into thin air. It was funneled through trust, through loyalty, through silence. And now the silence has been broken. Gasps ring out as the prosecutor points a finger directly at Kody. He is not a husband in divorce court. He is the builder of a multimillion-dollar hoax. What if all you created, homes, marriages, stardom, wasn't a legacy, but evidence? And what if those who you believed would shield you became the ones to pull you down? Kody shakes his head furiously, sweat glistening on his forehead. His attorney stands, desperate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a family falling apart, not a fraud ring. The accusations are fueled by resentment, jealousy, and the chaos of divorce. But the words ring empty. The camera glances over to Logan, sitting silently, head bowed. His statement continues to weigh upon the air. The treachery of a son trumps any defense attorney's argument. Christine finally turns to Janelle and whispers urgently, her words picked up by a mic. This is it. This is where he finally pays for everything. Janelle slowly nods, tears willing to fall. But Robyn is shaking violently. They don't get it, Kody. They don't know you like I do. She clings to his arm, but he brushes her away, his eyes shadowed, his mouth taut in a thin, icy line. This is where the Browns are no longer a family, yet witnesses, victims, and opponents. And the man at the center realizes he's losing command. The prosecutor goes on, her voice unwavering. Your Honor, this is not about minor disagreements. It's about a history of lies, a series of embezzled money, and the betrayal of trust. His own son even took the stand against him. That says it all. The courtroom waits with bated breath. And then the defense. Kody's attorney adjusts his tie and inhales deeply. My client is no crime mastermind. He is a man crushed by the burden of a family that is coming apart. Investments have faltered. Errors have been made. But fraud? No. That word ruins lives. And there is no evidence beyond circumstantial witness. But don't say a word as he speaks. Kody leaps to his feet, his finger stabbing out at Christine. You've always wanted to see me fall. You poisoned this family against me. And now you're celebrating. The judge bangs her gavel. Mr. Brown, set tea down. What do you do when a man loses everything? The wives, the children, his reputation. What's there left? Rage. And in this courtroom, rage is in full bloom. Christine stands up screaming back. Don't you dare blame me for what you did, Kody. You lied to us all. Her voice breaks, but her words slice sharp. Meri buries her face and weeps. Janelle's lips quiver as she whispers, it's over. He's done. And Robyn screams through sobs. Stop it. Stop ripping us apart. Her voice rings out, raw and agonized, but no one hears. The room is pandemonium, cameras rolling for every moment. And at last, order is restored. The judge leans forward, her voice icier than ever. Enough. We will recess before the verdict. But let me make one thing very clear. This case will not be decided on emotion. It will be decided on facts. And the facts are damning. The gavel clangs. Court adjourns. As all of them start walking out, the air charged with tension. Reporters yell out questions. Kody, are you guilty? Christine, were you aware of the fraud? Robyn, will you support him if he goes to prison? What is it like when reality television collides with reality itself? When the cameras that once brought you fame now record your downfall. Outside the courthouse, Christine addresses the cameras. I want people to understand. I didn't remain silent because I was weak. I remained silent because I was scared. But I'm not scared anymore. Janelle stands with her, nodding resolutely. This is about more than us. This is about the truth. Meri says nothing, lost in contemplation, while Robyn hangs on Kody like a drowning woman clinging to flotsam. Kody glares at the reporters, his voice low, almost growling. This isn't over. You'll all see. I'll come back from this. But his words feel empty, like the desperate cries of a man slipping into darkness. The story may pause here, but the battle is far from over. The verdict looms, and with it the end of everything Kody once was. The screen fades to black, the tension unbearable, and then with voiceover, they tantalize with the future. Next time the verdict. Will Kody Brown walk free? Or will the judge tie the final knot between divorce and fraud, sentencing him to a fate no one could have imagined? The question lingers there, challenging the viewer to come back, to observe, to watch the final punch. And you, watching at home, what's your opinion? Is Kody guilty of betrayal and deception? Or is he simply just another guy caught up in the devastation of his own doing? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your verdict.